Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Brendan Plays. This is All Elite Wrestling's Grand Slam pay-per-view for our Total Extreme Wrestling 2020 AEW playthrough. It has been a pretty crazy ride to get up to this point. Lots of twists and turns, big debuts happening, lots of star power coming into the company. So there's so much to look forward to, so much happening right here on this show. This, of course, will be at the Arthur Ashe Stadium. We're going to replicate what happened in real life. And there's going to be a few exciting things here for us to look forward to. So let's jump straight into it. The pay-per-view's already booked. Let's get into the card. And to kick things off, we have the Factory taking on Bear Country TNT on the pre-show. And the Factory pick up the win. Best in the match, looks like it was QT Marshall, 29. That's not saying a lot. Next up, Danny Garcia lost to Frankie Kazarian in a 40 rated match. Kazarian 44, Garcia 28. Kind of forgot about Danny Garcia. He's one of those guys that, whilst he's a lower end guy, he's a singles. He's not directly involved in a technically not involved in a tag team of 2.0 on our roster. So he kind of flies on the radar a little bit. So I realized we've got him. Let's put him in a match. Let's see how he goes against a veteran. And he did okay. 28, not too bad. Alright, so we're going to open up the show. Of course, we've got Adam Page and Park for the TNT Championship. That's going to kick off this edition of Grand Slam. And we have a couple of special entrances here for both guys. 85 rated for that one, really good. And the match itself, 80 rated in the end. Adam Page becomes the brand new TNT Champion when he defeats Park in about 20 minutes. And he becomes, obviously, TNT Champion. Page 81, Park 77, and an 80 overall match. Lacked a little bit of psychology from both guys here, so that was the only real downfall. Could have been a little bit better, but I think 80 was probably about where it should be. I mean, maybe 82, 83 for being really greedy, but I'm pretty happy with that. That's a good, solid match. We do the title change. Park's been champion for a while. He's had a pretty decent reign. I think it's not super memorable in terms of beating any big name opponents, but he obviously has worked with a lot of the younger guys coming through, trying to put them over a little bit and having good quality matches. Now it's time for Adam Page to try and do the same thing, but I think Page has a lot more heels that he can work with and might be able to have some high profile matches. Lance Archer, Miro, Brian Cage, just a few guys to name to begin with, and then we could obviously transition maybe over to some of the main event talent. Coming down the ranks a little bit. So there's so much we could do with Adam Page as champion. He's not going to win the world title for a while, so I think this is a good position for him to be in anyways. Alright, MJF backstage says the Pinnacle will beat down the world title winner tonight. So it's going to be Cody and Sammy Guevara in the main event. Sorry, not in the main event, but in one of the high profile matches. We're not going to have the world title on last, which is a controversial decision. I'm always a proponent of having the world title close out the show, but what we've got happening here is just so big that it's going to be overshadowing the world title match. So, we've got a 4-hour show here, so we might as well have the world title halfway through the show as one of the big main events, and be able to have the big tag team match, the Young Bucks and CM Punk as the main event, as the last big match of the show. But MJF says, look, the Pinnacle, they're going to beat down the winner of tonight's world title match. So whether that's Cody, whether that's Sammy Guevara, someone's going to get those hands tonight from the Pinnacle. 86 rated promo, good stuff. FTR had a great match with the Jurassic Express, 75, Cash, 78, Dax, 72, Luchasaurus, 59, and Jungle Boy, 68. That's more like it from FTR. That's the sort of performances that we'd like to be expecting from them on a regular basis. They've been around the 60s. They haven't really been giving us what we've been looking for, but this is way more like it. 78 from Cash, 72 from Dax. That's excellent. That's top tier. Fantastic stuff. 75 rated match. FTR did pick up the win, so we weren't going to put over the Jurassic Express here. FTR picks up the win. We want to keep them strong, keep them in a good position, and keep using them in a high-profile spot. Jurassic Express having a good match here, I think, will accomplish enough. They get put over in a way by having a really good match on pay-per-view. Next up, Superbad is formed and they announced their intentions for AEW. So Penelope Ford and Jamie Hayter join up with Ali, so she's going to forget about the name The Bunny. So it's going to be Ali now and Mel. So that's a 4-woman group that we've now joined up. How long Mel will last, I don't know, but we've got her under contract for a little bit I don't think it's that long left until her contract expires. So she's in the group for now. That could very quickly change. But Superbad is formed. I like the name Superbad. I was going to do Superbad Girls. So Superbad is formed. I like the name. I was going to do Superbad Girls, but I think Superbad on its own is a really good name. Just on its own, it works. Penelope Ford does the turn. It's not going to go down well. Yeah, no surprise, because she turned babyface not that long ago. But I think this is a good starting point for the women. We are going to look to do the women's tag team championships. That's pretty much a given. We've been building towards that for a while now, and we need to have a couple of factions in the division, and this will be the first one, at least on the heel side of things. And I think this could be a really good group. Penelope and Ali as a team are working really well. Jamie Hayter can be the bit of the muscle in the group. Mel as well. But, as we said, Mel could be on her way out. 45 for the promo anyways. Next up, and speaking of tag team in the women's, Brandy and Velvet teamed up to take on The Inspiration. 45 rated match. Best of the match was Cassie and Jessie, both equaling 44. Brandy got 43 and Velvet still lacking behind quite greatly with 24. Really need Velvet to get, some popularity. For whatever reason, she hasn't been able to get any despite a lot of wins in the division. We gave The Inspiration the win. Obviously, the talk has been who's the best tag team in AEW. Well, The Inspiration are able to get the win by cheating. So they did cheat and able to steal the victory away. 45 rated match, so it was really good for the women. And that's a good spot. These two tag teams are probably the best, that we've got in terms of popularity. If Red Velvet can get some more popularity, this team of her and Brandy would be even better. But look, so far so good, and I think we might look to maybe do a tournament, maybe do something for the women's tag titles. But this is a good opportunity for The Inspiration to really get ahead of the pack and show that they probably are the best tag team right now, and I think they definitely would be. All right, post-match, an all-out brawl erupts among the women's tag team division. So we do this here with The Inspiration looking to beat down Brandy and Cassie. Well, we have Anna Jay, Tay Conti coming out to try and help. In comes Diamante, Big Swole, Ali, Penelope Ford. It's all kind of happening. All the teams, all the participants in the division come out. All hell breaks loose as a way to kind of hype up the potential of all these women facing each other at some point down the road, and really kind of showcasing the women's tag team division. So it didn't go down that well. Not a lot of popularity, but 31, it's not the worst. More women's matches. This is a really women's heavy card, to be honest with you. Jade Cargill took on Camille for a 38 rated match. Better than I expected. Jade 36, Camille 28. So we somehow managed to have a decent match here. I think we kind of overbooked it. We kind of made it a really chaotic sort of match to kind of hide their weaknesses, and it worked. So Jade, she's got a fair bit of popularity. She's doing really well, and she probably is being groomed to be the next women's champion. Her in-ring work is not very good. That's the real deterrent behind her. But, she could be a real monster heel going forward. So we give her the win over Camille, who we don't technically have under contract. We're just loaning her out for a little bit. Gave her a win. Obviously, two women who are, big in size, a good physical matchup on paper. Two big women fighting it out. Jade gets the win. It kind of makes her look like the dominant beast in the division. 38 though for a women's match is pretty good. Jade calls out Britt Baker, who doesn't back down from Jade post-match. So we know Jade is already the number one contender after winning a match at All Out to get that, the Casino Battle Royal. So now, obviously, with Jade, she's going to have that match. We're going to start setting up for Jade and Britt. And we kick it off by having Britt not afraid. She knows Jade's not going to jeopardize her title match just yet. And she's not going to back down. She's been champion for a year. She's ready for this fight. So 53. For that one. And now, FTW took on the Best Friends. So Team Taz, Ricky Starks, Brian Cage taking on Best Friends. Team Taz picked up the win in a 60 rated match. Pretty good. Brian Cage 64, Starks 50, Chuck 46, and Trent 48. Good all-round match. Just a simple, short-term feud to put over Team Taz and get Best Friends on the card, get them doing something. Malachi Black and Darby Allin say that they will remove all of the corruption in AEW. So they started with the Inner Circle. They've kind of broken up the Inner Circle in a way. It caused a lot of friction and dissension among the group. Now they're looking to maybe target someone else. Kind of hinting and teasing here at them coming after the Elite. So kind of thinking at the moment, our main event, we've got CM Punk trying to take on the Elite. He's trying to recruit people to try and help him take down the Elite. Well, Malachi and Darby Allin could be two perfect candidates to join up with CM Punk for this short-term rivalry against the Elite and try and have that maybe a big, 8-man match of some capacity, which I think would be really good. Ruby Soho is revealed as Serena Deeb's Open Challenge opponent. So Ruby Soho makes her debut here, and her new gimmick has been given a rating of adequate, so just an average rating, so nothing special. But a 41 rated segment is a good way to come in. And the open match itself was pretty good, 47. Ruby Soho, 48 for her in-ring debut. Serena Deeb, 35. Ruby wins with a roll-up. So a quick, out of the blue sort of win, just to give Ruby the win, but also still there's enough there to maybe warrant a rematch. Good match. That's a great match for the women. 47 is like getting a 75, I reckon. So that's really, really good. Ruby, I think, is going to be a big deal. There's no doubt about that. She's got a lot of potential. Ruby's going to be a big deal. There's no doubt about that. She's got a lot of potential. A 48 rated in-ring performance is right up there with maybe Hikaru Shida. Shida is, the best in the division. So she's got enough popularity where she could be a true star for us. So we just have to try and get her there. Just have to really push her hard and try and get her to 45, 50 pop. Post-match, feeling embarrassed, Serena Deeb attacked Ruby Soho. So the rivalry continues here, 38 rated for the beatdown. So Serena did not want to have her big night. This is meant to be her big moment, upstaged now by Ruby. She wanted to have the last laugh. The Wild Things took on the Men of the Year for 72. Eddie Kingston, 60. Moxley, of course, best in the match, 82. And Paige, 45. Scorpio, 44. Not bad. Men of the Year, of course, pick up the win. No doubt that they were always going to win this one. I think we had this as a wild brawl, potentially. Yes, we did. So we had Eddie Kingston. He got the pinfall win here over Ethan Page. So he redeemed himself after losing to Page. We know Eddie Kingston's storyline has been furious and upset with himself that he lost, being embarrassed. So now Eddie Kingston kind of redeems himself, gets the big win for the team, and feels good about himself again. Feels like he's equal with Moxley. Sting announces that the Women's Tag Team Championship is coming to AEW, 76 rated for this one. A little bit of a cheap way to kind of incorporate Sting and improve the women's division storyline, but look, you got to do something, right? If you got someone who can help you, you may as well try and use it. So we are going to introduce the women's tag team division, a championship. Instead of doing the secondary championship like they're doing in real life, they're doing the TBS championship in real life. For us, that doesn't really work for us. That's what's the point? We don't have enough women right now to challenge for Britt Baker, let alone have another belt for people to challenge. But we have been building and creating and working on a tag team division for a fair while now. So let's reward that by having a tag team championship. I still think we're probably one or two tag teams short of where we want to be. But if we can bring that and introduce that in the next couple of months before we really get going with the division, I think we'll be in a good spot. I think we could probably make it work. Cody Rhodes and Sammy Guevara, 78 for their match. Cody, 85. Sammy, 83. Now, where we went wrong here is I kind of forgot to kind of include both these guys in a direct storyline, or have MJF or have, Chris Jericho directly involved. I thought it would work because we did have Chris Jericho interfere, so I thought that would advance the Jericho and Sammy Guevara storyline, but it hasn't. But in the end, Cody picks up the win, about 20 minutes. Cody 85, Sammy 83, so very equal in the end from their performances. Cody makes it his first title defense of the World Championship. So obviously in the match, Jericho coming in, interfering, basically costing Sammy Guevara the match. He screwed over Sammy Guevara, and that will turn Sammy Guevara babyface, finally, officially babyface. It's been a long time coming. Post-match, Chris Jericho in the Inner Circle beat the living crap out of Sammy Guevara, and they officially kick him out of the Inner Circle. He is gone. He's now on his own. Jericho wants nothing to do with Sammy Guevara anymore. It had to happen. Sammy Guevara's outgrown the Inner Circle. In fact, the Inner Circle is probably on its last legs anyways. I don't think there's a lot more for the group to really accomplish. It's just basically now a group of guys to kind of watch Chris Jericho's back. And that's fine. You know, it gives Jake Hager a job. You know, he'd be gone if he didn't, have the Inner Circle. Santana Ortiz obviously have a lot of value, but look, Sammy Guevara now can go out on his own. He's proven himself for the last few months that he can really hang in the division as a top babyface. So I think this will work. Alright, the Super Elite ask various AEW wrestlers if they are going to be CM Punk's mystery partner. They all deny it. So Jeff Hardy, Matt Hardy, Christian, Miro, Will Hobbs, a few others, they all get asked, are you going to be Punk's partner tonight? Are you teaming up with CM Punk? Is it you? Is it you? They're trying to find out. They're trying to get the inside word. Who's it going to be? They have no idea who's it going to be, and they're trying to figure it all out. So a way to kind of incorporate some of those top guys in the card, sneaky little way, but also a way to kind of advance that storyline, the intrigue, the unknown. Who's it going to be? Let's find out. Bryan Danielson makes his debut as CM Punk's mystery partner. So Bryan Danielson finally arrives in AEW. The American Dragon gimmick given a rating of great. So a great start to his run here. 83 rated for this segment. The Elite, obviously, they're shocked, they're confused. CM Punk, he's pretty happy, big smile on his face. So now, time for the match. The Young Bucks versus Punk and Danielson, the big main event. Will we see it hit close to 90? Will this be the best match we've ever had in AEW? Can it happen? Let's see it. 84 rated. Okay, so a little down on where I thought this was going to be. I certainly thought this would be high 80s, but only 84 in the end. Bryan Danielson was the best in the match, 89. CM Punk, 88. Nick, 87. Matt, 88. So everyone performed really, really well. I'm not sure where we went wrong. Maybe that last segment didn't quite help the storyline a touch, but I don't think that's going to really matter too much. We had Nick Jackson. He took a crazy bump during the match. We really tried to make this a big special match. Maybe it went a little bit too long. Maybe we didn't get the length right. Maybe we should have dragged it back a couple of minutes. But of course, in the end, CM Punk, Bryan Danielson, they defeat the Young Bucks in an 84 rated match. The good news is Punk and Danielson apparently have great chemistry teaming together, which is awesome. It's going to be really valuable for us going forward. So, if we ever use them again in a tag team capacity, there's so much there to like and so much there to use that we could really get some great matches. So at 84, I will admit it's a little down on what I was hoping for. I was really thinking maybe 87, 88, maybe even potentially a 90. The performances were all there. Everyone performed high 80s, so it could have been a 90 plus. Just didn't happen to be, unfortunately. Post-match, well, here it gets a little bit more interesting again. Adam Cole makes his debut as CM Punk and Bryan Danielson are celebrating their big win. Adam Cole comes from the crowd, slides in the ring, whacks Punk and Danielson with a steel chair, and helps the Elite beat them down and officially joins the Elite. He's back. He's in AEW, makes his return to wrestling, leaves NXT, joins AEW, makes his return to the Elite. 87 rated for that one. So, a big way to put over Adam Cole. He manages to take down Danielson and Punk. The Elite stand tall at the end of the night despite the big win by Bryan Danielson and CM Punk. And now the intrigue is there. Holy crap, Adam Cole's here. Here we go. Now we introduce Adam Cole to the Elite to try and, strengthen them. After a loss, Kenny's lost, the Young Bucks have lost. They're missing something, and something's not working. We'll introduce Adam Cole to try and be the missing piece for them. And that's the show. That's the event. Adam Cole's gimmick is given a rating of adequate, so not amazing, but still good. And that will round out the show for an 86 rated edition of Grand Slam. So a great pay-per-view. a few really good matches here. Obviously, Paige and Park 80, FTR and Jurassic Express 75, really good. I like this card because we had a lot of women's matches. We had a chance to really showcase the women in a great way, which is great. And obviously, including that, the Wild Things Man of the Year 72 was good. Cody and Sammy had a 78, which is good. Main event 84, lots of good stuff here. Could have been a lot better, I feel. Even though we got 86, we probably didn't deserve that rating. We probably deserve maybe more of an 82, maybe an 80. But, we take what we get, and I feel like we could have done a little bit better. So, I'm a little disappointed, but nonetheless, a good event, and I think we've got to be pretty pleased about it. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at the result of the pay-per-view. 61,000 buys, so of course it was meant to be a minor edition of a pay-per-view, so not looking for a big major buy rate to try and keep it a little bit realistic. 61,000 is pretty solid. A couple of contracts to sort out. Pillman Jr., he's going to stay on, so we can sign him. Alex Marvez will stay on as well. Other things, Leva Bates has got a new contract offer. Camille's finished, we're done with her. Bobby Fish, of course, he's now joined AEW in real life, so we're going to be looking to sign him. We've already offered him a deal, a 6-month contract. I don't have a lot of plans. I don't know, what are we going to do with Bobby Fish? He's 41, more of a tag team wrestler in my mind, now on his own. He's a good worker, but what can we really do with him? I don't know, man. I really don't know how he's going to go with us, but we'll do what they're doing in real life. We'll bring him in, but I don't know. How the hell are we going to make that work? I don't know. But nonetheless, obviously a good result for the pay-per-view. Let's take a look at any popularity changes that we may have been able to get. We'll start with the top of the card, of course. Adam Page with a big win. Now close to hitting the 80s across the board. Danielson made his debut. No change for his popularity, so he stays at 79. Which is a little disappointing. I thought maybe he might have moved up, but I suppose he didn't beat anybody with more popularity than him to do that. CM Punk, he's got 85 across the board. I think 85 might be our absolute limit that someone can get to at our company size. So I think Punk is at his cap, his capacity. So I don't think we're going to get any higher than that. Cody's still hanging around the low 80s. Continuing on, Moxley's still around the low 80s as well. Kenny, 84. He's right up there doing really, really well. Malachi Black, high 70s. The Young Bucks, their popularity still has never really grown that much. Still around the low 70s despite all the big matches and big profile situations they're put in. Their popularity's never really blown that far out of proportion. It's always been just okay. So 70, that's fine. Especially when you look at someone like Miro, when you compare Miro's career in AEW to the Young Bucks in our save, well, Young Bucks have done a lot more than Miro, so it's crazy that his popularity is way, way higher, but, that's just the way it goes. MJF, he's close to the cap, 85, so he's doing really, really well. Park, high 60s, Sammy Guevara, mid 70s, so lots to like there. There's no real issue with our top guys, that's the thing. They're all really going really, really well. Adam Cole, he starts things off with 71, 72. Hope to see that rise up to 75 plus very quickly. I'm very intrigued to see how he's going to go in the ring. His last match was on NXT. He had an 84 rated performance. That is crazy good. So there's a lot of high hopes. He's averaging 81 for the year. So he's going to be right up there as one of our best guys on the roster. There's no doubt in my mind, which is great. Another really top star that's coming in. That's exactly what you want. Darby Allin around the 50s, which is good. A good promo with Malachi on the card. Elsewhere, Jungle Boy, as I said, he had a really good match. 58 pop in the Southeast, 54 elsewhere, which is pretty good. Luchasaurus, 52 and 56, so he's going okay as well. So I wanted to look at the women. They obviously had a big feature on the card. Brandy around 44, 45. That's solid. Cassie Lee, 38, 39. I think there has been some small progression, potentially, which is good. It's a start nonetheless. It's going to be a slow burn for the women. We know that, but any improvement is great, and we definitely need that. Britt Baker, 43. She obviously had that stare down with Jade. Speaking of Jade, 37 now in every area, and 44 in the Southeast, which is pretty solid. I mean, if we're going to have her title match, it probably needs to happen in the Southeast to really get the most out of it. Will Hobbs, he had that segment in the towards the main event. So he's now 37, 36. He's getting close. He's got 47 in the Southeast. So he's got a lot of popularity there, but still struggling with the relevancy thing. He needs a couple more big wins to really put him over to that next spot. Ruby Soho, 41 pop in a few areas, 40 everywhere else. So she comes in as a real high value commodity for us, which is great. We certainly need that. And we'll have a quick little look further down. Penelope Ford, she's done the babyface turn now. She's got high 20s, low 30s, which is good. She joins Ali, who's 30 across the board for that new stable. So there's going to be plenty of work to be done with this women's tag team division, I know. But I'm looking forward to the challenge. Jamie Hayter, she's kind of just getting started. She's got 16 pop. So there's going to be a few hurdles for sure. But I'm looking forward to trying to get these women over and trying to make a division happen. It's never easy. It is never easy. Alright, so we are now in week 1 of October, so we'll have a quick little look at our financial situation as well. Now, we had 2 pay-per-views in September, so we had a nice gain for the month overall. A $1.4 million gain, which is huge. Obviously, our ticket sales were way through the roof. $2.5 million we got in the gate. That's because we're having big stadium shows now. Arthur Ashe, 20,000. I think we had 25,000 for All Out as well in a generic venue. So merchandise has gone through the roof as well. So that's obviously, you bring in someone like CM Punk, who is selling 3 times more merchandise than anybody else in the company. 356,000 he sold. Cody's got 113,000 to his name. So that is huge. And I'm sure when Bryan Danielson gets started, he sold $1,700 in a night, so I'm sure he'll get started and sell plenty as well. So that makes a big impact when you got someone like CM Punk who just moves a crap load of merch. That can really help boost up your finance for sure, and it clearly has. Clearly, 100% has, because 1.2 million compared to 750,000. So a lot of that has been CM Punk. 300,000 of that was CM Punk. So that's pretty exciting as well. So in terms of finance, we are starting to gain plenty of money. Things aren't becoming too much of a problem for us with that area anymore now that we've got fans back. We used to be in the red every month, and now we're pretty much in the green every month. So, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. So that's always a major plus for us. But of course, in terms of events, we have obviously done All Out. We've done Grand Slam now. So we've got a little bit of a lull until we get to our next pay-per-view, which will be Full Gear. So that's going to be in November. At the moment, it's scheduled in at week 2. That could change to week 1, but I think week 2 could be where we sit with it. So we've got about 6 weeks to start building up to Full Gear. So a little bit of work to do, and I'm not sure what matches we're going to be looking for just yet. Maybe a Cody and MJF rematch, possibly an Elite versus Punk Danielson showdown. Maybe we add in Malachi and Darby Allin there. Maybe the Women's Tag Team Championship final. We can crown new champions there. Jade and Britt could take place on that one. Maybe it takes place earlier. I don't know. And I'm sure we'll fill in the rest. Maybe Jericho and Sammy Guevara once and for all, one last time. And I'm sure there's plenty more to come. So lots to look forward to, lots to plan, lots to get done. And I hope you guys enjoy the ride and the journey to get there. So thank you so much for watching this edition. Hope you enjoyed it. And we'll see you in the next one.